aftermath of the 2020 NFL Draft continues for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we head to Michigan and welcome in Michigan State head coach and our good friend Mel Tucker. Coach, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great, bro. How you doing?
Doing well. You obviously the former Jags defensive coordinator from 2009 through 2012, an interim head coach here for 5 games in 2011. Yeah. That's 8 years ago, the last time you were here. Time flies.
I know, the time goes so fast. It seems like just yesterday that I was in Jacksonville. So, hey, go figure, man.
Mel Tucker with us, head coach for Michigan State. It is a challenging time for you, though. You're getting settled in, working at a new school, a new location. That's tough enough as it is, but even tougher considering everything going on. How are you and your staff and your players getting through this time?
Yeah, we're doing well. Just controlling what we can control. You know, there's so much uncertainty right now, and no one really knows for sure what the future is going to be. But you know, we know what we're allowed to do right now, and so video conferencing and Zoom calls like we're doing right now that's the new normal for us. Staff meetings, recruiting, position meetings, unit meetings, the whole nine is all video conferencing now. So it's a new world.
So, all right, let's touch on the Jaguars draft pick from Colorado, second-round wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. You had him last year in Boulder, and he can be used a number of different ways. That's a nice thing to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, you guys got a phenomenal player, and I'll tell you what, he's a great kid. You're going to love interviewing him and being around him on a daily basis. Just really easy to get along with. He's got a great smile. He's very pleasant. He's courteous, and he's a really good teammate. He's a good team guy. But from an athletic standpoint, I mean, he is a complete freak show. I mean, there's not very many guys that have come through that are going to look like him. I mean, he's built like an outside linebacker, but he's got all of the skills of any receiver. As a slot receiver, an outside receiver, we played him left and right. We lined up in the backfield. He did wildcat. He played quarterback. I mean, he lined up at the tight end position. I mean, the guy his versatility is incredible, and he's a young guy. I mean, he left early. His best football is ahead of him. So, you guys have a phenomenal player.
You mentioned briefly what kind of guy he was off the field. Take us through that a little bit more. What was he like in the locker room, in the meeting rooms, and what can the Jags expect on that side?
Yeah, he's a really quiet guy, and really till he gets to know you. So when I first got to Boulder, he was very shy, and so it was a kind of a process of him opening up. Once he got to know me and the staff. But once he kind of got used to us and kind of found out what we were all about, I mean, he's great, and he's, like I said, he's a fun guy. He's always got a smile on his face. He loves his teammates. He loves his coaches. He competes. He practices hard. But for people, initially that he's not familiar with, he's going to be quiet. He's going to be reserved. He's got the braids. They'll be covering his face every now and then, but he'll come out of it eventually, and you guys will work well together.
Mel Tucker with us, head coach for Michigan State, talking about former Colorado receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. You see this from the defensive side, or have seen it as a coordinator on the defensive side for a long time. What is the toughest adjustment for a wide receiver coming in, facing NFL defenses for the first time? I know he'll move around and do some different things, but in general, when a receiver comes in, it might take him a year or so to really get right. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the speed of the game is usually the biggest adjustment college players have to make, when they go to the NFL. Everything is moving faster. You have to process things more quickly. All of the players that you go against are competing at a high level. There's no days off. There's no plays off. And so just getting used to the consistency of the level of play, the speed of the game, will be his initial challenge. But once he does that, he'll be highly productive.
And as a former defensive coordinator, when you see a guy like this on the other side that's so dynamic, that can line up in different places, how much stress does that put on you as a defensive play caller and make sure your guys are in the right place at all times?
Yeah, he's hard to game plan for because he's so versatile, and so you don't know that he's going to be on the left or he's going to be on the right or he's going to be the X receiver. Sometimes he can line up inside, he can line up outside, left or right. You can send him in motion, so he's a hard guy to game plan for. Because he's so versatile, he can do so many things. He can do them all well, and so it's going to be interesting to see how the Jags decide to use him, especially his rookie year. And then it's going to be interesting to see what the defenses around the league and within that conference decide to do to try to stop him.
Mel Tucker with us. Final couple of minutes with the Michigan State head coach, former Jaguars defensive coordinator. You had current Jaguars safety Ronnie Harrison your year at Alabama. You were the defensive backs coach there in Tuscaloosa, and he was a freshman that year. What do you remember about that year with Ronnie?
Yeah, Ronnie's one of my favorites. He's a great kid. As a freshman, he comes in, he was like 6'2", 215 pounds. So he started for us on that national championship team. He was our starting dime defensive back, and which is in our dime package, kind of like a linebacker, strong hybrid, and he did a phenomenal job. I knew then that he was going to be an early pick, first or second round pick, and another kid that always had a smile on his face and loved his teammates, loved to play football, played hard, cared about his mama, wanted to get good grades, and I'm always pulling for Ronnie. He's just a phenomenal kid.
Coach, the future is bright in East Lansing, right? What can we expect from the Spartans this year?
Yeah, we're going to play hard, and we're going to give everything we have. And like I said, our guys will be physical. They'll be humble. They'll be hardworking. We'll have a chip on our shoulder. We'll have something to prove. And I think all of our Spartan fans around the globe will be proud of what they see this fall.
Good stuff. Congratulations on the new gig in East Lansing, and thanks so much for your time. Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you. You guys take care, man. Be safe.